Come here, Spry. Welcome everybody. As we see if I can get some on. I know it's late, and I apologize for that. If we weren't doing this live, probably would have skipped out on it tonight. So again, the accountability comes in. I got a video that I'll be posting either later tonight. Nicole is in. Nicole Larson is in. We got the two Nicoles leading us off here. A third Nicole. Triple Nicoles to start out. Nicole Schulte. I saw Marty was in before. He had made a comment. Looked like we had a couple people. So I'm going to get going right away. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. There's Marty chiming in. Good evening. I'm going to start day 5 of this. Earlier today we had a Nicoles. The Nicoles dominate the intro here. Earlier today we had, if you follow us on Instagram, you will have seen on our story, we did a little project this morning, part of a project that we're working on with our friends at Mighty Pet up in Menominee, Michigan. Pets Are King is their Instagram page. So we were up there and we were doing some stuff through the Instagram stuff this morning. I don't think I posted anything about it on Facebook. I got some great video from it. I'll be chopping that video up and utilizing it over the course of the next couple days. You'll see what Spry did today there. Spry had a little bit of a rough day, I would say. She didn't quite settle in. Nicole Larson, you'll enjoy it because I know a lot of times I think your thought process is, boy, you know, Spry is so calm. Well, she showed today that she's not always so calm, and that's the reality. So, but we had a really nice morning up there. Got home late tonight because Steph had a work dinner that I had to go, not that I had to go, but I wanted to go to. So we did that. We got home a little bit later. So she told me that after a couple old fashions, my lives will probably be a little more entertaining, a little better. We'll see. So we've got Steven is in, Jeff Trudell is in, Dan is in, Mike Schulte joined in. So we got the Schulte clan, the whole house in. So I'm going to get going. I'm going to start with this. Again, I'm going to let her settle in. Tonight I'm going to go immediately with taking my hands down and giving her a little space and see if that hold gets her into position. My position is up. I don't want it down. Hard to drop it when you're up. Easy. All right, I was just about to go in. If that kicks off again, I'm going to maybe go turn some Wi-Fi stuff off. So Amber got in, Jeff Williams is in. Good evening, guys. If it does a disconnect again, it disconnected on me. If it does it again, I'm going to go shut some things off inside that are using Wi-Fi. So you can see she's excitable tonight. She's been a little bit wound up all day. Probably because we didn't go for a walk this morning. We didn't do much as far as activities. So she's a little antsy. After we did our Mighty King thing this morning, or our Mighty Pet thing this morning, she came back and was in the kennel most of the day, so she didn't come with me. We had Moja to the vet this afternoon, so I didn't have her with me. But that's a nice little change, and you can see the looseness on the back of that lead. Good. Now that little bit of good got her. I don't want that. So for that question that we had the other day of, I can't pet or praise my dogs because they nip and bite and they get too excited. This is a good example of that. I don't need to give her a lot of praise because it pushes her over. So when she does settle in, we'll get started. My goal tonight is to get hands away, take a step away, and actually get her off the lead. I'm not going to take her off lead. I'm just going to unhook it from the nail. She'll still feel the weight of it, but I want to see if I can keep that head up during that process. Get the gums up out of the way. Hold. 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 Very good. Hold. real nice eyes tonight. She's really focusing on me. Hold. Hold. Her head's actually going up further. I love it. Hold. Hold. You can see her lift her head up as I say it. Hold. She's about the first dog that I've had do that. Hold. Hold. Good. Hold. Hold. Good. Good. Hold. 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 A reminder to hold when I look like I'm going to take it. Hold. Good. Good. Hold. Good. Dead. Very nice. Good girl. Sit. Get that gum out of the way. It's pinched there. Hold. 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 Good. Very good. Hold. 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 Very nice. Good. Hold. 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 Don't know that I've had one get this far this quick. Hold. Hold. Good girl. Hold. 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 Good. That's perfect. Hold. Hold. Good. Dead. Good girl. I don't want to push it too long. Boy, that was really nice. You can push all kinds of blue thumbs to that one because that one went really well. Sit. Sit. So now she realizes, man, I'm not even on that tie out anymore. I'm not hooked onto that thing. Nicole's got a question, I think. So will this training transfer to the field? Maverick can't do any retrieves because he bubbles over and loses all control. Maybe a sitting activity will be better. He boot scoots when retrieving. Yeah, so we'll talk about that, Nicole, when I get done with this. Well, my answer is going to be no, don't even worry about retrieving yet. We fixed the first problem first. So, very good. So I'm going to do this thing again. Again, we're not tethered anymore, so she's not tied up. Hold. But I'm going to require hold. I'm going to expect the exact same hold performance. So now I'm right back to here, getting that chin up where it belongs. Hold. The only thing that's changed is I took her off that nail. Well, she knows that. She's kind of taking advantage of it. So I'm not going to move forward until we get the same behavior, the same result. The only thing I changed is one element. I took that steady tab off of that nail. Hold. Hold. Which allows for a little more freedom. Hold. But just because she has the freedom, I'm not going to let her take advantage of it. Hold. Very good. If you can see the, I don't know if you can see the tail. The little tail is wagging. Pretty good right now. Hold. 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 Very nice. That's good. Hold. I might stretch this one out a little bit longer. Hold. Hold. If you've got questions, great time to ask them, fire away, and then I'll be able to hit them when I get done here. Hold. But like I said yesterday, I don't want to wreck my cadence. When I get good rhythm going with training, things go good. hold. When I break it up and I'm real choppy, we struggle a bit. Hold. Hold. So think about that sometimes when you get a good lesson in. You're 50% of the equation. The dog's the other half. Hold. Hold. If you don't do well and you suck, it's hard on the dog to be good. Hold. Hold. Very good. A lot longer repetition here. I'm maybe going to take a step away. Hold. I'm going to take a step away. Hold. So I'm requiring her to do the same thing that she did before. But now the only difference is we took the lead off of the nail. Hold. And I'm adding some time to it. Hold. 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 Boy, she thought twice about it, but she opened up. Hold. So I'm going to remind her, don't do that. Hold. That time I helped her with saying hold before I got there. That's perfect. Hold. Hold. Very good. Hold. Hold. That's a good girl. Hold. So I'm throwing a bunch of little variables at her that she hasn't necessarily seen before. This is a really long session. She's even going to adjust because she's slipping. Hold. Good. Hold. Good. Dead. Very nice. That was excellent. Very good. Very good. I'm gonna do one more with her, and I'm thinking about getting her to move. I don't think I'll end it on moving tonight. A lot like 2 nights ago, I didn't want to end it by taking my hand down, because if she failed at that point, that lesson, we're going to end it with a negative, and then I got to do another one, and we're pushing it a little bit longer. This is a relatively short lesson. This is a relatively short lesson altogether, but a real strong one, because I've thrown a couple of new things at her, and she's done pretty well with it. So we're going to do one more good one. Don't crowd me. Don't crowd me. So I'm going to get my space here. I'm going to move her back. This is my spot. I'm not going to let her get to the edge, and then me adjust. No, this is my spot right here. So you back away from me. No. So she gives me my space. It's a little far in the corner, but no. Get in position right there. That's a good spot. So without touching her, I move her in the spot I want. That's her just having a pretty nice feel with me. That's where heel work pays off. Hold. Hold. It's about as low as I want her mouth right now. Hold. I'm quite a ways. I'm furthest away from her that I've been. Hold. Hold. Good. Hold. Hold. I'm beyond an arm's reach from her. I'm another foot or 18 inches from her, so you can see kind of how far away I am. Hold. So now I've got her on a nice, real nice hold without a tether, and she's remote. Hold. That's very nice. Tomorrow I'll build off this and I'll call her to me. Hold. And I'll make her move her feet with that bumper in it. Hold. Hold. Very good. Might move to a bumper pretty quick. Hold. Hold. That's a good girl. Hold. Dead. Very good. Very good. I'm going to leave her right there. I'm going to answer some questions now. So that's it. I'm calling that a big win. I thought it was a nice little lesson. Let me spin this around. And now the rest of her lesson is her sitting still on the freezer. This part of the lesson might be as valuable as anything, because today she was extremely antsy. And I'll show you the video. You'll see the video where she's a little antsy today. So I'm going to sneak back and start looking where some questions came up. Great crowd tonight. Thank you guys for sharing it. If you did, I appreciate it. Let's see. Steven, I think I left off. Well, no. Amber got in. Amber just had a great weekend with her dog and some trials, some versatile hunting dog stuff. Congratulations to her. And Denali. Steven, our neighbor from the north, was in. Merrick Malak joined in. Dan was in. Edward was in. Joe got in. Let's hope it works tonight. We had better luck tonight. Edward from Mississippi is here. James, Brian, Angie's in. Where's your bat? It's all I could find today besides a bumper. I saw Jeff did a hold conditioning, and it looked like he had some real obstacles. He had his dog balancing on a log for us while he did it. Adam Dirkman joined in. It's amazing how fast she's improved. It really is, Jeff. And so I'm really happy about it. I'm excited about it. At the same time, I really probably should stress, and I think I've tried to, I want to make sure everyone understands, don't make comparisons. Just don't make comparisons to what Spry's doing. Because I didn't want you to make comparisons when you guys were on the side where your dogs were retrieving really well and mine wasn't. I didn't want you to make a comparison. And I don't want you to make a comparison if my dog's doing something well and yours is having a harder time with it, because it really doesn't matter. So don't compare with this. Just watch the steps, watch the process part of it. That's the value in it. But I appreciate that, Jeff. I do think it is a little surprising how quickly she's doing. I expected it to go well. It's going well. She does look great. Angie said she looks great. Jason McPherson joined in. Welcome, Jason. So, will this training transfer to the field because Maverick can't do any retrieves because he bubbles over and loses control? Maybe a sitting activity would be better. Boot scoots when retrieving. Absolutely, Nicole. So here's the fix to that. You'll see it as I post it later this week, but we did this thing today where all we did with a bunch of strange dogs that came out of it was at a place that does like dog daycare. It's day camp is what they call it. It's a bunch of strange dogs I'd never met before, and we brought them all out of their kennels. They were barking, they were pulling, they were just, it was a lot of excitement, and I think it was a conditioned response because they're used to coming out and going out to the front and getting picked up by their owners, and then they're gone. And so our drill today, and the point of the drill was, we're not going to do anything but sit. And it sounds real simple, but it was extremely difficult for lots of them because a lot of those dogs are just wired to keep moving. They just keep moving, and I think their owners keep giving them stuff to do. And I talk a little bit about this weekend. My buddy that I was training with, we talked about how he's afraid of boring his dog. His dog is going to get bored, so he keeps challenging and doing things. And what I told him was less stuff, get better at it, and slow down. It was complete opposite of what his thought was that he needed to do in order to try to keep her occupied and keep her going and keep her moving forward and not losing her. Well, she became she almost was scatterbrained because she jumped from one thing to the next, one thing to the next, one thing to the next. And he would keep doing it in order to keep her occupied, thinking that's how we're going to keep her focused. Well, so what I would do with Maverick is, and we've talked about this, Nicole, slow down. And you're going to go, you keep telling me to slow down, we're not moving. Then you're going the right speed. But I doubt that you're not moving at all because it sounds like you're still trying to do some retrieving and stuff and it's not working. So slow down. Just slow down. The drill for her right now is just sit still. Just sit still and listen to him jabber. This is as valuable as the hold conditioning that we just did. I need to start doing it more with her because over the last 6 weeks I've gotten her retrieving more and I've lost a little of the steadiness. So I need to gain it back. And the way I'm going to gain it back is by controlling the tempo. Controlling the pace of everything we do. I run around like crazy all day long. After this, I got several things I have to do on the computer yet. I'm going to be up till midnight tonight working on stuff. Just running around like a madman. But my dogs feed off of that. So if your life is really fast-paced and you're running around and juggling kids and all sorts of stuff, and I'm not just talking to you, Nicole, I'm talking to anybody, your dogs will feed off of that. So when it comes to the dog stuff, slow it down. And do a drill for 10 minutes that you don't do anything but sit.
and then get good at that. And maybe you can't do it for 10 minutes, so do it for 1 minute. And if you can't do it for 1 minute, do it for 30 seconds. We had a dog today that was about 30 seconds, a little Springer Spaniel. But every 30 seconds he got up and was ready to do something different. And so we made him sit through the 30 seconds, and he got to about 45, and then he'd get up. And it'd be about a minute. And by the end, he laid down. He just laid down. He stopped whining. He stopped panting. We had a German Shepherd that was really struggling. Like, almost looked like he was overheating inside an air-conditioned store. So it wasn't hot, but he was just working himself into a frenzy, or herself. And so we didn't do anything but sit still. And as soon as we sat still long enough, the dog responded. Next thing you know, the dog stops breathing heavily, lays down, really settled in nicely. So that was our lesson today. And my point with it was, we're not going to do anything. And my point with that was, hopefully we're rubbing off. So culturally, we're going to start changing things to just slow down around there. There's no rush. That's what I'm looking for right there. Very good. Very good. So, did you see those little ears go? She knows what I just said to her. She knows I praised her, and her little ears responded. That's all she needs. I don't need to praise her much because I'll just spin her up. So Brian says, Jeremy, she's doing great. She is doing nice. Love how she holds her head up. I really am happy with that too. And really, I think this has been she has shown real clearly how quickly she's caught on to it. It is why it's maybe clear, but she really locks into that position. And to the point that I've never had a dog that after 2 days of this, I'd say, hold, and she'd lift her head back up. Usually I got to get them back up. Well, she would start hold, and she'd come back up. And it was pretty clear, and I think you guys would see it. You don't have to go back very many days because we've only done it 5. So watch back some of those old ones. And boy, look at number 1 versus tonight. Man, big difference. Do you think you're getting better at training by doing the live cast? Do I think I'm getting better at training? I think I struggle with the lessons doing them live, Zach. Honestly, I think they're a lot choppier. I don't get nearly the good rhythm or cadence that I'm looking for. So do I think I'm getting better at training? Maybe because it's harder to do it. That might be helping me maybe. They're much harder to do live. They're much harder to do filming. If anybody wants to try it. And I think the first thing people say is, it's a lot harder than I thought trying to film this. Especially if you're trying to film it actively. Tripod helps, but even the tripod gets in the way. Particularly if you're live, because you're trying to communicate, you're trying to make it interactive. And I think there's value in that. So do I think I'm getting better at training by doing it live? Maybe because I'm just making it harder and still being able to try to find a little bit of success out of it. So that might be helping, but I will say it makes it an added level of difficulty. It's a lot like film and hunt. If you've ever filmed a hunt, hunting without a camera is easy after you've tried to film them, because it's just a really, really difficult added element that just gets in the way kind of, and it makes things a lot. It's just another element that you have to work through. So Nicole, my Thor, is the same way. It's so easy for him to get overexcited. And the same thing with Jeff. And Jeff, I've seen it. And we've seen it, and it's a patience thing. It's just slowing down. Cam Cutter's got in. Hey, Cam. Why do you think Drifter was so tense throughout the whole conditioning? He would be so excited to do work, but as soon as we got in, tensed up. I spent over 2 months and nothing improved. I'm sad to say we never finished. I had to freshen up the skills before the season. I'd do it again this winter, and I hope he's more confident. I think the level of, he never got comfortable. And sometimes, if Angie, you were here when we had Millie, Wyatt's Millie. Wyatt went through a week or so with Millie and had success, but Millie kind of did it on her, I think Millie did it on her terms. And not until she came here and I kind of had a crack at her, did I not allow her to do it on her terms. And I think that made her real uncomfortable. And then she built back with comfort, with confidence. So it was almost like we broke her down a little bit and built her back up the way we wanted her, instead of her doing a pretty good job naturally. I think Drifter does things really well naturally. And he carries you through a lot of things, I think, because he does a lot of things really well. But this is not natural. This is not something that comes naturally to dogs, so it's hard for him to get through it. This takes a lot more Angie than Drifter to have success. So Angie, you and I really need to spend the time together through it. I have a lot of confidence we'll break them right down. And I don't think it would take long to get through it. I really don't. Mike joined in, Scott joined in, Rocky joined in. Jeremy Thor will retrieve a tennis ball for me, but when it comes to the bumpers or even the training antler, he just wants to play with them. Do I keep going with the ball for a while, holding off on hold conditioning until after we have him neutered in a couple weeks? I would stop the retrieving. I would stop the retrieving for right now. What I would do, Jeff, is I would maybe move to some water. I think I know you have water because I think that's where the ear accident went down. But I would go to water, and I'd go with a little bumper in the water and see if you can't bring that back to you. Just change it up, mix it up a little bit. If it's a couple of weeks out before you're going to get him neutered, I hate to not retrieve. And if he's doing well with the ball, I don't have a problem with that. I like the idea that he's retrieving well with something. I wouldn't continue with what he's struggling at and try to that's that analogy of trying to run through the brick wall. I think you have to maybe take a step back and look for a door instead of just trying to bolt through it. So I would mix it up. I'd go to water, and I'd use a little bumper in the water and see if that helps. That was really the ticket for Spry. So I'd maybe try that. If you can get him to hold, Spry held really well. Look back on that video where I did it in my shop. She holds really well, and I got her to bring bumpers to me without having to pick them up off the ground. That helped. She had a tendency to want to play with them too if they were on the ground. So that helped. Jeff, Zeke does the same thing. Good with the ball, better with the antler dummy, but likes to chew it and has almost zero interest in the bumper. I do the same thing, Mike. And then hold conditioning is going to probably fix all that because you're going to go through each one of these objects in hold conditioning. The dog's going to understand the value of all of them. Does she drop her head because she loses sight of you with her head up and you backing away? I don't think so. I never really got that far away from her, and I think she could see me the whole time. She might peer just a bit, but I don't think her head's back so far that she can't see. Spry personal dog, or is she being trained to be sold? She's a personal dog, Steven. We're going to keep her. This is a Taylor puppy. Brad got in. Chris Borgman was in. Brad got in early tonight. He said, Steven, what's your favorite, field, nose, or blocky? You're talking looks of the dog. The looks are the least important to me. Performance in the field is number one. So field nose or blocky. I don't know if you mean like more of a snipey look to the nose or a blocky look to the head, or if you mean like good nose in the field or the look. The answer to me is the field. I could care less what they look like as long as they perform. Ben joined in from down in Mississippi. There's power in the sit. Balance, balance, balance. That's all I hear in my head. Lots of balance. Lots of balancing. Looks like she is watching. The thumbs and hearts go by. Zach made a comment about the ears. You probably saw that when I said, did you see those ears? I just said good, and those little ears just bounced half an inch. And that's what you got to learn to read. Just read these little tiny signs that they're showing us, because that'll help us not boil them over, guys. If you're struggling with dogs that boil over, you're probably putting too much into them as far as excitement, and you're kind of bringing that on yourself. So you got to be able to read their understanding of praise without getting them too wound up. It is harder videoing, Jeff said. It is. He has glasses with a video in them? Come on now, Jeff. This isn't a sci-fi movie. Do you really have glasses that have videos in them? That's pretty awesome. Let's see. You've gotten much better at training and managing the camera as time has moved on from the first 20 or 50 videos. That probably, yes. You're probably right there, Zach. So I don't know if the training got any better, but the ability to use the camera probably has gotten better, because you guys got to remember, I am a nerd when it comes. I'm not a nerd. I am a nerd. I don't know how to use technology very well, hence the struggling with the Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So for me, prior to doing these lives, I don't know that I ever did a lot with my camera, but I realized how quick it was valuable, and so I've been trying to do it a lot more. And there are just some things that you can do that just become a lot more simple. Getting a tripod was huge. Like that was a pretty simple thing. Boy, what a difference it makes. You know, we're gonna hook up so you could see how Drifter and I worked. We might still have to. We will. I need help. Dominance. Yep, I have some water I can get you. I'll work with that. Yeah, so Jeff's got some water, and yes, that's where the ear got nipped. Going to make sure the dog isn't there. Yeah, vet bills will add up for you, Jeff. We are going to do hold conditioning, but when we resume, how can we stop the victory lap? Hold conditioning will fix that. It's good most of the time, but we'll sometimes take a lap and lay down with the dummy. So hold conditioning is going to get him, Mike, to come to you and deliver just like that position that little Spry has been in. Spry, sit down. So that little finish that she's been showing us, that's what it's gonna. That's what hold. When she comes up, that's what she's gonna be brainwashed to come back into that position, which is gonna fix that victory lap. But other things you can do prior to it, Mike, are retrieve with something that to your back. Have a wall behind you. Have your garage behind you. Eliminate 50% of the equation where that dog can't run laps around you. He's gonna have to come to you. Build yourself a little channel. Chris Smith did it. You know, he put some snow fence out and he had a nice little runway that the dog went out and back, out and back, out and back. That really helped to form that habit. So we do that. It's no different than the little hallway to start out with. You just scale it a little bit and scale it a little bit and scale it a little bit. One of the best places I've found once you get to the point that you can do it is baseball diamonds. When you got two baseball diamonds next to each other and the outfield fence, so it'd be left field fence for the one field and right field fence for the other, run parallel, because that's a real nice runway. It's pretty big though, so if you get a dog to that point, it still helps channel straight out and straight back. So baseball diamonds are nice places to do that. Let's see. Yes, I can try them, but it's tech. Mike, stand with the house, a fence, or your truck behind it. There you go. Ron did that too. Yeah, Ron built a nice little retrieving runway. All right, sounds good. Much appreciated. Figured either taking a break from it or I think setting yourself up for success, Mike. Find a spot where it works well. I mean, it might be the garage. I don't know, but just a spot where you eliminate the opportunity and form the habit of straight back, and then start to add a little bit of opportunity for them to have the opportunity to take the advantage of you with that victory lap, but the habit is formed strong enough that they come right in. So take your time with it. Okay, that's it. We're done for the night. You guys have a great night. We'll be back. Tomorrow's number 100, so we're gonna hit the century mark tomorrow. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for being with us so late. Thanks for sharing. If you would do me the favor, keep doing that, please. Just makes a ton of difference for me to be held accountable as well. So you guys have a great night. Talk with you soon.